3 ways to start investing in property starting with very little money. Well, when we got no money to buy property, we have to think about the transactions that we want to do. They're often significant amounts of money, so £100,000 plus often. So how is that transaction going to happen? How is that transaction going to complete without any money? So one of the easiest things to do, and this is how I scaled my business, is start partnering with other people and using other people's money. So you have to use somebody's money, and sometimes when you're purchasing property, you might be using a bank loan or mortgage. In a way, that's still somebody else's money. It's not your money. You're leveraging somebody else's money. Now, with a partnership, what I tend to do is use somebody else's money while I use my time, skill, experience to find the opportunities and then really partner with them to share the profit. So joint ventures is a great way to scale a business. And of course, you've got to bring some value to the table at the beginning in terms of why is it that they may want to partner with you? What's a benefit to them? And what is it that you're going to do for them that they couldn't do themselves anyway? So you have to think about the value that you're going to bring in order to be an attractive proposition or be investable for somebody to want to invest with you. The second way to start property investing without actually having very much money is to use what we call control, where we're controlling property rather than purchasing and owning it. So what that means is that you can take the benefit from a property without ever having to have purchased it. So there's a few different ways you can do this. So for example, rent to rent is quite a common way that people talk about, where you're renting a property from an owner, and then actually what you're doing is providing that accommodation to somebody else. And you might have, say, several people living there, i.e. you're turning it to what we call a rent-to-HMO. You rent the property from a landlord, you turn it into a HMO. Now you've got several people living in the property paying you rent. You're earning more money from those tenants than you're paying the landlord, and the difference between the two is your profit margin minus your costs. So that's one method of control. You control the property, you benefit from it by controlling its income. Another way would be what we call an option agreement or a lease option agreement, where you have a control over a property and you have that as a right to buy. So you can purchase that property at some point in the future and you can benefit from it in that way. So you may be thinking, how is it that you're going to make money and get started by just controlling it in that way? Let's say, for example, we have this building here. There's a car park at the to the side here, and somebody was to take an option agreement to buy this building. Let's say, for use some arbitrary numbers, let's say it was £1 million. And then the option agreement, because it given them control over that property, they went and made an application to maybe demolish it, put up a small block of apartments, maybe 20 or 30 apartments on this site. Now, once that development's been built, it will be worth significantly more than the building is now. And there's a way of calculating back to what we call the residual value, i.e. what would be the site be worth, i.e. this site with the planning permission to be able to build the apartments. And that's probably significantly more than what this building is worth right now. And hence why the owner would give you an option agreement. And you'd probably offer, say, a bit more. Let's say the building's worth £1 million. You may have offered £1.1 million with a view to buy it within 12 months. So you've got right to buy it within 12 months for £1.1 million. It's worth only £1 million. You go and get the planning approval. Maybe it's worth £1.5 million. So you've made £400,000 profit essentially because you control it. You can either sell that control to somebody else and take that £400,000 profit, because now somebody else will purchase it to be able to demolish it and build the apartments. Or it maybe you work with somebody, partner with somebody who's going to actually build it out, and they use their funds, and because you've got the control of the property and you've done the value add of bringing the planning in. So that's the second way. The third way that we can use somebody else's skills, if you like, and leveraging that, and when we haven't got very much money, is to get involved with a fund. So a fund might be something that's listed on the stock exchange like REITs, or it could be like a crowdfunding project where somebody has a project that they're going to do and they are inviting smaller investments into that. And then that means you're leveraging lots of other investors working together to be able to generate a return. But my favorite way is the controlling of strategy out of those three. I think by understanding how this works, you can make significant amounts of money without ever having to put a huge amount of money down. And there were a number of stepping stones in my property journey over the years. When I started, at the beginning, it was about finding deals, sourcing deals, and evolved into various other things. But when I got involved in option contracts and lease option contracts, my results started to accelerate, and the momentum was built even quicker because we were able to do so many more deals. We weren't putting down huge amounts of money. We were controlling property, renovating, selling it on, what we call an assisted sale, which is a variation of a option contract.
Hey, if you're enjoying these short videos that we're doing called Saj Dailies, then make sure you also check out our longer form content that we have on the channel. There's probably about 300 videos that are on the channel that we've uploaded over the last few years, and there's a lot more content uploaded regularly. And if you're enjoying it, then make sure you click on that like button. Also subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, leave me a comment. Let me know what it is about these videos you're particularly enjoying and particularly liking. Then once you've done that, make sure you click on this video and I'll see you over here next.